Tim Sells here. I have a question for you. Who wins? January the 1st, you have a goal, lose weight. January the 10th, you see a dessert buffet, okay? So we got key lime pie up here, we've got pecan pie, and so forth. Your body yells, I want that. What's the problem here? All right? I've never heard anybody address what I'm going to address, but it affects exercise, it affects business, it affects relationships, it affects everything. Okay, so this is a part of a series of videos that I've been doing here. It has to do with new rep training and the bridge to the pipeline. And this particular one is what is controlling you, really and truly. Why do you or someone you know set a goal and sabotage that goal? All right, so that's what we're going to talk about here. So this is the bridge to the pipeline. This is the pipeline that every business does. And I'm on this step right here is I am a networker. Now, I heard something that was really cool. Okay, so there was a team in another network marketing company. I was listening to kind of like their battle cry, their mission statement or something like that for their team, not the whole company. And right at the end of it, I heard something and it was beautiful. Everything was awesome. But they said, my soul is ready to live the life of my dreams. And it kind of caught me. And I was like, hang on a second. Right. And so that is, it's a tiny thing, but it's like whether you turn on the blinker or change the gear in your car, right? So if you get them a little bit wrong, and that's what I want to do. This is kind of like a really huge hack in terms of understanding, well, who's controlling what, okay? So I want to first give you a definition. So the word is emanate. Definition number one is to come forth, issue as from a source. Number two, the act of flowing or proceeding from a fountainhead or origin. Okay, so this would be a flashlight. You turn it on and it's emanating light. What's emanating light? The flashlight. Okay, so that would be one example. And if I were to take this water bottle and take the lid off of it, and I were to pour it, the water is pouring out, emanating out from the water bottle. Okay, so it comes from a Latin word that means to flow out. And I just want to make sure that you understand this. Examples, I've already given those. So it's emanating from a lamp or a stove that emanated heat. Okay, so now that's the concept of what intention really is. Okay, so you don't have a soul, you are the soul, right? So that's the big, huge difference. Your body is a reference point. So in other words, people get kind of mixed up sometimes between the soul and the body because the body is the reference point that the soul, the spirit, whatever you call it, is emanating out, okay? It's a very, very important differentiation. What's the opposite of emanating? Withdraw, absorb, hold, keep, take, okay? So now you can get this idea that what the soul, the spirit, whatever it is for you, it's always emanating out. And that's the main point that I want to make right here so that you can understand something. So here's the flashlight. You can see it. Here is a headlamp for like camping and things like that. So they strap it onto their head. It's still emanating out. Here is one that's used with a weapon. And so the person is like this. And that beam right there is the one I want you to focus on, which is the tighter one. All right. And I'll show you why. So it's a laser beam like this, not like this or this. This causes you to be a spectator because you're trying to look at too many things. And so you're not flowing out. Instead, what you're doing is you're just kind of like zipping around looking at this, right? They call it the shiny object syndrome. But in reality, it is you're not grabbing a hold of your intention and pointing it to where you want for what you really, really want in life. And so it becomes just this zigzag thing, and you can see it like this. So you do not want this activity going on. I'll give you an even bigger one, right? So that, I see people trying to live this life, okay? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so confused. I'm out of breath when they're talking because it's just hopping all over the place, right? And all it is that they're not just grabbing their intention and deciding where they're going to point in life. Okay, yes, you can have hobbies. Yes, you can have these things, but it's the bouncing around. All right, so what you really want to do, if I can just, sorry to shine this in your eyes, but so this would be a wide view. And what you want to do is that you want to dial that thing in to where it's, you see the difference between this, right? And this? What you want is that zeroed in focus, because that is where all of your power comes from. Your power dissipates and scatters to where you don't have much. And so you can't get a whole lot done. You may be multitasking all over the place, but you don't end up with really what you want. All right. And so I'm going to go backwards here and just go back and look at this concept as opposed to these concepts. And later in the next couple of videos, I'm going to be walking you through how to do that, like how to decide on these things, and so that you can get it really, really dialed in and focused. Okay. All right. So this is the vision that I have in my head all the time. Okay. And it's probably why I've accomplished just about every goal that I have ever put. And the other thing is that when I decide I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. All right. I just don't give up. So this is the way that I envision intention for me, Tim. Okay. So it is, I am in action. I'm leaning forward towards my goals. Okay. I've got a laser beam focus after, in other words, right towards my goal. And so it allows me to avoid what I don't want to do and do what I want to do. And that is what is grabbing a hold and controlling that intention line. Okay? So that it doesn't wander around. All right. So, if I were you, I would capture this image. Okay? Whether you want to screen capture it or just really put it into your mind and okay, I want to dial something else in here. All right. So you have to be in action. And that's the leaning forward part. Okay. So intention, in action, pulling the body to go do. Right? So I kind of picture myself as, yes, my body is my reference point, but I'm leaning out. Okay? And saying, come on. Right? That's the concept and the idea. And it kind of is always my vision, because, when you wake up in the morning and maybe you didn't sleep very well or anything, kids kept you up or whatever it was, right? And how do you get up? Like this? Or is it a very slow thing? Okay, so if you lay out your workout clothes the night before you get out, you don't have to remake the decision. You don't ask your brain, hey, do you want to work out? No, you already decided that on January the 1st. You see what I'm saying? Like that is what I really want this to communicate to you. Okay, so we're back to the desserts. All right, so what's the problem? Who made the goal is not the same as what wants the dessert. You get this? Did you catch it? All right? Because that's what the most important part is. I'm going to go backwards here to this thing. The spirit made the goal. The body looked at the, I don't know, cheesecake or whatever and said, I want that. Don't start a conversation with the brain because the body throughout evolution has been trained to love sugar because there's not a lot of sugar during the winter. And so when there's bearing fruit in the spring, the whole idea is that it shifts your entire metabolism over to another kind of fuel. And so that it stores fat so that the next winter you can survive through the winter. And so that's the whole concept, that the brain wants it, but you've had enough. And so you say, no, and you just go. Or you don't even look at it. You look at it and you go, that's not what I want. And you just move on. And that's what I mean by leaning forward in action. All right, so you, the spirit, is who decided the goal. Who wins? You. The spirit wins if you control the body. The body wins if you allow it to control you, the spirit, which should be subservient to you, the real you. Okay? So, all right, I got one more, and it's in another category, and so that you can see both sides of this equation. So over here, you are prohibiting your body from doing. Okay, so you're saying, no, we don't want that, and you move directions. So you're prohibiting. But there's another side of this, and this is where, in I think 2 videos ago, I talked about that where I feel intention the most is when I'm working out. All right, so I just want you to imagine that, I'm just going to give you a scenario here. So let's say that I jumped up on the pull-up bar, and I was going to do 12 pull-ups. All right, so I get to 10, and I'm now getting a little winded. Arms are hurting, upper back is hurting. I got pain, right? The body is saying, hey, stop. Okay, wait a minute now. I said I was going to 12. And so I start pulling up and I get halfway up and then I can't knock that one out. I can't go all the way and put my chin above the bar. Okay. I let myself down. I'm going to do 2 half pull-ups. Why? Because I need to let the body know that it needs to make more muscle and make me stronger so that I can do 12. And that is what stimulates muscle growth, and that's only what stimulates muscle growth. You have to go to failure. So the 10 were just to get me to the last half, a couple of halves, so that I would then be able to stimulate the body in order for it to grow more muscle. And so in this scenario, it's incremental gains. And so you have to pull the body, right? You got to really let it know. And so there's a difference between mental fatigue and body exhaustion, okay? And so I see it so many times with people in the gym. They'll just go in and they will do exercise. They'll do 10 reps with, 20 pounds or 10 pounds or something like that. And they could probably do 30 reps, but they just go to 10 and they do 3 sets of those instead of going in there with the intention to stimulate muscle growth. Okay. And so I just wanted to show you that there's 2 sides of how you control the body. You can't say, I'm going to do 50 pull-ups and do it tomorrow, unless you can already do it. What I'm talking about is that you incrementally grow and stimulate the body, and you incrementally keep on moving away from this, and it accomplishes weight loss. And the same there. So later, when I get into what we call reps in the bridge to the pipeline, I'm going to be walking you through kind of how you grow at moving quantity across the pipeline, because that's what builds a huge business. All right. So what was this really about? All prior videos about identity were for you to think about being and doing and having. Okay? It was to just get you thinking about it. This video was about you realizing that you emanate and that you control your body with intention. That is how you control your body. That's how you control your thoughts. All right? That is it. So I have a Telegram group you might want to join, because we interact with each other, and people can ask questions and things like that, and I respond back to it. Also, if you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and you might share it with somebody who might need this. Thanks so much.